The following video essay intends to address and unpick the different ways in which Molière's Tartuffe made people tick. But in the age of online performance, how can this be recreated? How can we replicate the world which Molière created? Focusing primarily on the table scene in which the hypocrite is exposed, and performing on a new digital stage, I wish to propose that we embrace the rhyme and rhythm that Molière created, as although his writings may be dated, hypocrisy and deceit can still to this day be related. Embracing too the digital technology of Zoom as a stage, we can make Tartuffe relatable to people of this age. We should invite our audience to join our call and have cameras and microphones turned off for all. Internet connection and glitches may cause difficulty, but will create an aesthetic that promotes adaptability. The satirical edge of this play can be retained if the original language and characters are maintained, but performed using melodrama and cohesive virtual backgrounds, and accepting and dealing with technical glitches as they are found. With inspirations from Commedia dell'arte, Molière devised a play about a foolish man and his less-fooled party. Both the Italian comedic art form and Molière's many plays embraced the use of stock characters who each had their place. Orgon the Imaginaire believes everything he hears from Tartuffe and, infatuated by his disguise, sees not through the trickery and lies. Cléante, his brother, the raisonneur, the voice of reason, who tries to make Orgon see things as they were. Dorine, the servant, who can't hold her tongue while speaking to her superiors and constantly poking fun, and Marianne, the daughter, who can never seem to find the courage to speak up and say what's on her mind. For much of Molière's comedy, farce is at its heart. He mocks high society by giving each character an obvious part. The plot is a mere chance to entertain an audience by putting on display eccentric and steadfast characters who each want their way. Even at the play's ending, with characters we never see, comes a deus ex machina in which everything is resolved by way of royal decree. Premiering in 1664, but not seen again for 5 years more, the Catholic Church had shown distaste for his writings, believing it to be a play not ever again worth citing. Despite these claims, it is interesting to note that, yes, Tartuffe was a play mocking religious piety that he wrote, but it was not the first, nor was it the last, and the religious mockery was not the reason it could not pass. As Molière says himself, the play is nothing more than a clever poem that corrects men's faults by means of agreeable lessons. So, why did men revolt? See, in Tartuffe's attempts to woo Elmire, he speaks of religion to justify his unholy behaviour, and there the hypocrisy of his lines is all too clear, and the manipulation is easy to hear. And so, it was the men from whom Tartuffe was inspired, who decided that the play had to be expired. Wishing not to be exposed by the hypocrisy at hand, they set forth on Tartuffe, and called for it to be banned. At the time of Tartuffe in France's 17th century, ownership of space determined social place and identity. Tartuffe, this nobleman, or so he claimed to be, saw in Orgon the perfect opportunity to weasel his way in and gain social class. Upon the Imaginaire, his infatuating spell he would cast. While other household members had their doubts, time and time again, Orgon refused to cast him out. Claiming Tartuffe to be a good Christian nobleman, and to stroke his ego, Orgon insisted on letting him in to gorge on food, wives, and drink. Not for a moment did Orgon think that he could be a fool of Tartuffe's deception. Why, if he saw through all that, he would have the king arrest him. The members of Orgon's household knew he would not believe what he was told, and so hatched a plan to catch Tartuffe in the act and prove their accusations were truly proper fact. Common in France at the time was the use of metadrama, where plays would feature actors often acting in melodrama, using either a play within a play or a little bit of role play. Characters would adopt themselves a new persona and thus become for their audience a miniature performer. In the infamous table scene, Elmire role-plays the unfaithful wife willing to trade for Tartuffe her whole married life. Performing for Orgon her hidden spectator, she conjures a fictitious world to trap Tartuffe, the unsuspecting traitor. Distinguishing the characters' real life from their fictionality, a spatial split emerges between the theatrical space and the zone of reality. In a regular performance, this is just as easily said as it is done. Hide Orgon under the table, and the message will be won. Such a pivotal scene that enables Tartuffe to be seen. How can we present it on the digital screen? Elmire will speak to Orgon and remind him of her plan, and then ask him to hide from where he stands. With no table upon a stage for him to hide underneath, Orgon will instead vanish to beneath where the camera Tartuffe and the audience can see him with cohesive backgrounds, and the illusion will be of his disappearance. With dramatic irony, the audience will see, as Tartuffe emerges and smiles with glee at Elmire standing alone in the room without her husband, you should have no doubt that Orgon is elsewhere and his chance with Elmire is right here. By having our audience join us on Zoom, we will have created a hypersurface. So essentially this room that holds both the characters of the play and the audience of the day is the site of the virtual performance. This gives spectators sitting in their homes a unique stance where they are both immersed in the real world and in the play, much like Elmire as she tries to show Orgon Tartuffe's true ways. By presenting like this, the audience can still feel close to the action and engage with Moliere's play with satisfaction. In conclusion, my proposal is quite straightforward. Perform the play almost as Moliere would. Exaggerate the stock characters and rhymes as they are written, but make sure the actors use their wit in the unfortunate situations when internet glitches and causes delays. We must embrace the technology of today. We'll have our audience join us, hidden away on the virtual stage, to embrace the humour found in hypocrisy that is relevant to any age. Much like Orgon, the audience will be separated by spatial split. With their cameras and microphones turned off, it will feel for the audience a tad ironic as they watch our virtual rendition of the table scene that has grown so iconic. Although the staging for digital spectatorship is unconventional, by altering our backgrounds we can make it functional. For as ownership of space can determine social place, using virtual backgrounds of a room broken into different sections, the actors, although separated in real life, will be able to hide this from the audience's attention. Just because the play has had to move online, it does not necessarily mean that the audience will not find the humour of Tartuffe to be amusing, as we can gain humour and make the performance relatable by fusing Moliere's work with digital technology that is continually improving.